Hey guys, so right now I'm announcing the next big project that we're going to be working on for the next month or so. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, so like last year or earlier, back in the days when we had less than 20,000 subscribers, then you might be aware of these short films that we make every so often, about maybe one a year. The general conceit is that I take something that is on my mind at the time, causing me stress and anxiety, filter it through a genre film lens that I think is like an appropriate metaphor, and then turn it into this big, goofy short film. The first one of these is When Your Friends Get Engaged, about that specific thing, and it's turned into a sort of zombie virus outbreak thriller. And then last year, as a way of working through my intense anxiety about my impending 10-year high school reunion, which actually kind of turned out okay, we made this short that's about a high school reunion, but that's basically a spy thriller. And so now the new project we're going to make is about the truly miserable experience of apartment hunting, which is especially bad here in New York City. I went through it a couple months ago, and it sucks. So this one we're turning into a crime movie. I mean, it'll still be like a goofy comedy, but it will be within the crime genre, using all the trappings and tropes that come along with it, which feels appropriate. I've wanted to do something with apartment hunting for a few years now, and we had some different ideas that we batted around. Usually that were things more in the like 2 to 3 minute range. And then earlier this summer, I had this idea that this could work well as a crime movie, do it as like a larger production. We've been working on this for months. Jake's written multiple drafts of the script, and now we're about ready to get going with it. Unlike the other two, I'm not going to be starring in this one. This one I just want to very much be behind the camera so I can have full control over that. I don't have to worry about, you know, setting up a shot, handing the camera off to someone else. I act when I have to, but it's not my favorite thing, and it's not what I'm especially good at. This one is going to star Chloe and Lily, two real-life sisters playing fictionalized versions of themselves. They're both phenomenal actors who are hilarious and incredibly talented and far better than I am. And what we're doing this time is that usually we'll make a behind-the-scenes video and release it alongside the actual video that it's about, but with this, because it's going to be a larger production, we'll be shooting it probably over most of the next month. We're going to make regular behind-the-scenes production vlogs, opening up the whole process to you guys so you can see just exactly how we do this and what we're doing, trying to make this thing that seems semi-professional on basically no budget. I think it's going to be fun, and I love watching this kind of stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So during this video, you may have been asking yourself, hey, where did he get that cool wooden watch? Well, this video is brought to you by Yode Watches, who were kind enough to send me this. And speaking entirely honestly, as someone who never wore a watch until like a month ago, I like these a lot. They're really clean and classy and stylish, and they're made of wood, which is just cool. And they're comfortable, which is also good. And if you would like one of your own, you can enter a giveaway by clicking the link in the description below, and then you can look as cool as me, which isn't hard and is not something to aspire to. But anyway, back to the video. So right now I'm running out the door to go meet the cast and crew up on the sort of Upper West Side with the script to do a table read. Basically we'll just sit down and just read through it. Everyone will read their parts just so that I can get a sense of what it sounds like coming out of everyone's mouths. We're not going to start shooting for a week. That gives us time to adjust some of the dialogue and tweak it so that it suits their voices as much as possible and sounds really good coming out of their mouths, and also get their input, like they're like, I don't like these lines, these are dumb. And then we'll be like, okay, we'll change those. We want everyone to be happy with how this is looking and where it's going. Next time you see me, I'll be with the cast.
He's my favorite brother. I don't know, like, I love him so much. And that's how I show it.
Matt, how's it going?
It's going great.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling sick, actually. I have the flu.
You have the flu, so don't touch.
Goodbye, though.
Yeah.
What?
Singers really get little...
Yeah. Hey, Chloe and Lily, how's it going?
Oh, wow. Hi. In good health. I'm taking care of a giant snarl in my ear.
How the hell you doing? Anything for my niece? I got a broker named Terrence that'll hook you up. Chloe's leaning over trying to see the text.
Good news? All right. That seemed easy. We got a broker.
Oh, what a relief. Now with that out of the way, I want to take you to one of the best...
So I'm back from the table read now. I think the script sounds really good. I think it's going to be really funny. Chloe and Lily obviously have like perfect chemistry because, you know, they're actually sisters. And part of why I wanted to have us all get together and do a table read before we started shooting is to get the input of the actors. So this short film, it's about 2 female protagonists, but it's written by a bunch of dudes. And as much as we are trying to do a really good job writing women, we're not women, we don't exactly know how women think and will react to things. And so part of why we wanted to do this table read was so that we can have our lead actors look at the script, read through it, and give us any notes about if we should change anything. And they gave us some really good notes in terms of some scenes early on and some character dynamics, how certain characters react to other things. And this was really helpful because we're trying to represent this gender that we are not members of as well as we can. And the best way to do that is to have actual women read the script and tell us if we're like going wrong at all. We're gonna do a little polish on that script, rewrite parts of mainly one scene early on, just in terms of the power dynamics in that scene, because we want this to be good and we want everybody working on the project to be fully on board with it and feeling really positive about it. So I'm glad we did that. It was helpful. All right, time for everyone's favorite segment. That is also a segment that has never happened before, Equipment Spotlight. B&H, the camera superstore that you're probably aware of, were kind enough to send me over a bunch of fun new toys that I'm going to use to shoot this project. For the past year, we've shot literally every single video on a Sony RX100, a little point-and-shoot camera that I'm shooting this on right now. So for this, I'm excited to go a little bit bigger and be less limited by the equipment that I'm using. So the camera we're shooting this thing on is a Sony A6300. This thing right here, still sticking within the Sony line, but going over to a mirrorless camera. Didn't feel like I needed the A6500 because there isn't much of a difference. And the A7S, I don't think we're gonna be shooting in a whole lot of low light situations, so this was just cheaper and made the most sense to me. So let me stick the Metabones adapter on there. And so here is one of my favorite lenses that I've had for years, the Tokina 11-16, so that we can go wide with this because I like wide angle lenses. And on the camera, I'll be putting this guy, this little Sony monitor. It fits on there nicely. And the HDMI plugs right in here. Is this, almost got it. Which one is it? There we go. This is my camera setup for the whole thing, because I like to keep my camera setup as small and compact as possible. While directing, I camera operate as well. I like it when it's just something lightweight that I can move with really, really quickly to do a lot of different setups in a short amount of time, because we're always shooting on location in New York City and things get frantic and stressful there and we have to move fast. The reason I've wanted to get a monitor to put on the camera for a while now is that I've noticed over the years that I have this tendency, if I'm only using the little like LCD screen on the the back of the camera, because it's so small, I'll have this tendency to frame things too tight. Just like tend to do like intense close-ups on people's faces, and then when I'm editing on a bigger screen, I'll just be like, this is too close. Patrick, pull back, you can get wider, stop going so close all the time. And so when I have a larger screen to frame up my shots on, I stop trying to get too tight. So this just helps my framing. It honestly makes my filmmaking better if I have this larger screen. So I'm excited that I've got this. This whole thing, lens included, would be like still less than $2,000. So moving on from the camera, what I'm really excited about are the new lights. I've been following Aperture lights for a while and keeping up on the new things they've been releasing. If you don't know, Aperture is this company that makes these really high quality, fairly inexpensive LED lights. And the really cool thing about this for me is that they can be battery powered, meaning that you can use them in like exterior locations at night where you don't need to plug it into an outlet. And for years now, what I've been doing when we do shoot outside on location at night, I either take some extra tripods or just have extra friends, and I give them one of these, just like a little sort of, camera mounted LED light, and say, here, just hold it up and like point it at the actors so we can see them. And that's what we've done for everything. And these are powered by AA batteries, so they're kind of limited there, but these new Aperture lights, they are much more powerful. See, for interior shoots, I have this great set of Arri tungsten lights. This is a 650, I've got two 300s. These things were very expensive. I bought them, I think, 4 years ago, and they're great. These things are going to be lasting me for years to come. They're also extremely heavy, they get really, really hot, and they take a lot of power. Usually I only take them places if it's a paying gig and I can just, you know, get a taxi. So this is why the aperture lights are exciting to me, because they can do a lot of what the Arri lights do, except without the same drawbacks. We got this guy, the 120D. The D is because it's daylight temperature, as opposed to the T, which is tungsten temperature. You can mount it on a light stand right there. It does not get really hot. They take V-mount batteries, and V-mount batteries are the same kind of like huge chunky batteries that, you know, a lot of the really high-end cinema cameras take. They're cool, but they're also annoying because they're really expensive. It is... This thing is $700 for a charger and 2 batteries. That is literally more expensive than this light. Film equipment. It all costs too much. And what I've actually been using as my light source right here, you know, hitting my face like this, is another aperture light, the Aperture Amaran, that does not require V-mount batteries. It actually takes the same kind of like lithium batteries that, say, a Canon 5D Mark III will take. It's still very nice and powerful. And in terms of audio, we're using stuff that I already own, that we've been using for a long time. The same Sennheiser shotgun mic that I've had actually since 2007. It works really great. It's not the best Sennheiser shotgun mic, which one of these days I might get. I think it's like $1,000. Microphone's expensive. There's the microphone that we'll be using all the time, using the same Zoom H4n audio recorder that I have used almost every day of my life since March 2011. Still going strong. I still love this thing. And then this great K-Tech boom pole that I got last November. It's got the built-in XLR cable. I have the sweet Audio-Technica shock mount on the top that works really nicely. So that's pretty much the gear that we'll be using to shoot this entire video. The goal is now to spend as little money as possible. Hopefully nothing. If I can keep the budget on this entire 15-minute short film under $100, that is great. Because you save a lot of money when you shoot on location without asking permission. You have your friends work with you, and you do all the cinematography and all the directing and all the editing and like post-production work yourself. Our sound operator is usually, it'll probably be Jake. He's good at it. And that's pretty much how we're working. I think it'll be a really fun next month. So over the next week, I need to try to secure some locations, which is always annoying. We need an office for like a realty company in it, and offices always add a level of production value to a project, but they're also annoying to get. And hopefully in just a matter of days, we'll start shooting this thing. Tomorrow, Jake and I are meeting up to do a little polish of the script, start to incorporate those notes, change that scene around so that everyone's really happy with it, and then probably next weekend, we'll be able to start shooting this thing. Hopefully I'll be able to, you know, manage like this and schedule for video essays as well. It's going to be an exciting month. I think this is going to be a cool project, and I'm excited to have you guys along for the ride. So yeah, you'll see me in the next regular video in less than a week, and hopefully back here in the next video in this series shortly.